Welcome to Better Together, a Vaishnava family podcast.
A podcast where we explore family life from a Bhakti Yoga perspective. We are your hosts. I'm Aksh.
And I'm Gopika. Welcome to episode 26. Decade of Marriage. Anniversary Reflections.
Yay.
Our anniversary is a couple days away. How are you feeling about our anniversary this year? Big one. We hit a decade.
Yeah, it is. I feel grateful and grave. Grateful because how long we've been together, and also means how long you've been tolerating me. But also grave, just feeling like it's not necessarily still easy. I remember in the beginning feeling like, okay, this is hard, but it'll be better.
Yeah.
Right. And you kind of hear like different stories. Some people say, oh, the first 2 years are honeymoon. And then after that, it gets hard. And in our case, it was like the first 2 years were really hard. So we were like, okay, it'll get better after. I think we had a period maybe where it did. If I look back and someone said at 10 years, where would you be? Maybe I thought we would be like more thriving. Yeah. Maybe we are in some ways that are not obvious, but.
Yeah, no, I totally resonate with what you're saying. I feel when we were just getting married, if we were talking to a couple that had been married for 10 years,
right,
it was almost like, oh my gosh, wow, you guys are so cool. Do you like know each other so well? It's so easy. And now that we're at 10 years, I still feel like very much in some ways, not in all ways, but in some ways I still feel similarly to the beginning of marriage. It's, yes, you're together for longer, but at the same time, the more time that passes, like, also, the more life passes and the more you change. It's like when you first get married, you fall in love under a certain context.
Yeah.
And then like 10 years later, that context could change.
Dramatically sometimes.
Dramatically.
Yeah.
But you're still married to the same person. So in some ways, it feels almost new all over again. In the hard ways, really, sometimes.
Yeah.
But like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like... Yeah. You know, there's that like very famous cliche saying, when you get married, you marry the person's past, the present, and the future. But when you hear that, you're like, yeah, whatever, right? But I'm starting to feel the heaviness of what it means to marry the person's future as I feel myself changing through life, and I see you changing through life. And yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find each other still sometimes. Yeah, I think that like I'm feeling similarly to you. Definitely gratitude. We have so many gifts. We have a whole family now.
Yeah.
You know, 10 years ago, we had like this tiny apartment. And at the same time, I feel like also solemn. Not only is marriage itself hard, but life gets harder. And maybe we're feeling that because we have bared loss recently in our family. Like your grandfather, and then recently His Grace Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu, who literally passed away yesterday. It was like a heavy loss, but it's just been really weighing on me how much more we will have to endure together in terms of loss.
I was just trying to reflect on that. That just happened.
Yeah,
and,
unexpectedly.
You know, it's come at an interesting time. The funeral is on our day.
Yeah.
I guess when these things happen, you just have to almost like prioritize that.
Yeah.
And we've not just out of like duty, but actually emotionally, you don't even feel right. Like celebrating.
I could not physically go and celebrate our marriage.
Yeah.
Under these circumstances. But I was also thinking what a reality check and also powerful lesson from Krishna. I mean, this Prabhu that passed, for those of you who are listening outside of our community, he is part of the fabric of the origins of our temple community. So there are decades and multiple generations of people that have a very affectionate relationship with this Prabhu, who has met Srila Prabhupada and dedicated his life to serving. And in some ways, he was an iconic example for the Grihastha ashram. If you think about Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu and his wife,
that's a great
Mother
point.
Jashamati, they could have chosen to live in the comforts of their home as elderly people. And very justifiably so. It's an appropriate path for an older Grihastha couple. But they didn't. they chose to move into the temple so they could serve more, going to Mangalarti every single morning, cooking, serving, cleaning. Basically, it was their home, and they welcomed people to the temple personally like it was their home. I mean, I know for me personally, whenever Prabhuji would see me, he would welcome me and make sure I didn't leave without any prasadam. And I was just thinking like, wow, this is marriage. I mean, honoring someone who really did it in the most Krishna conscious way.
Yeah.
And also, when we first got married, I had my rom-com rose-colored sunglasses on, and it was like, okay, now you get someone who's going to be romantic with you all the time. And what the rom-coms don't show you is that there's very real life that you have to endure together, which means going to funerals and being part of a community and serving. To me, it was like, wow, okay, Krishna's putting me in check. Because if you had asked me before, year 1 of marriage, how are you going to celebrate your 10-year anniversary? It would be like, yeah, let's have a party. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not judging celebrating marriage. I'm a total advocate for that. Maybe we will still have a party one day for our marriage, you know, but I think also sometimes I know I need it for myself, that balance, that reminder that yes, marriage can be about the romance, the couple, just the two people and their love. And it's also about so much more. It's about how we plug into a community and serve a community and show up for one another and love and care for each other.
I really appreciate you bringing up this point, because I'm thinking like, wow, 10 years.
Yeah.
But then, you know, my grandfather just passed and left my grandmother. They were married for 70 plus years.
It's like a whole life.
You know, and I probably similar to Radha Prabhu, but when you look at that and you look at the way that those two people are truly glued, you can appreciate the other side, this phase of life or this ashram, right? Like, yes, there is an aspect that is more about the romance and the excitement and that aspect, but there's also we're gonna grind it out together and serve each other and serve others, serve our families, and just be also content in that. I think they're both valid ways.
Yeah. Do you feel like your conception of marriage has evolved in the last decade? I know mine has. I just shared one way in which kind of it has changed, but what did you think marriage would be before we got married? Because actually, I'm not even sure I know this answer. What in your head were you expecting?
What is marriage? I mean, I expected that it would maybe be hard. You're trying to figure stuff out and agree and be aligned as a couple. And when you settle through that, like then your bond gets stronger and you have less of that logistical. I think I was thinking very much on that front. Like,
I remember you being very operational and very logistical and very nonchalant about the whole thing. You were like, we ran Sacred Sounds. Running a house together? No problem. It's just like an action plan that we did for the event. Divide and conquer, color code, it'll all be good.
It's funny you bring that up because we did early on have to set up a list of responsibilities, right? And
I remember that. I think it was in the Grihastha Vision Team book.
Okay.
So I want to call them out because there's a great, fantastic book, Heart and Soul Connection, written by the wonderful, amazing, exemplary Grihastha devotees at the Grihastha Vision Team. Yeah, in that book, there was a chart, right, with an entire list of household responsibilities, and it was like husband, wife, or both.
Yeah. And yes, I do.
I remember what I checked for all. Do you remember what you checked?
What I just remember in general during those discussions was this idea that all these like social emotional stuff, I didn't realize that was something that was a responsibility. Yeah. That like someone had to actually take charge of it and have it on their like to-do list. Yeah. I didn't understand that. To me, that it just happened, right?
You're saying there's a husband in needs, there's wife in needs, but the marriage is a separate entity in itself that needs caring for, almost like a child. Like the marriage needs nurturing and someone needs to do that.
Yeah.
Or almost take the lead in that.
I didn't even think that was a thing.
Yeah.
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 So that has evolved in terms of, at least recognize that that's a thing.
Yeah. Well, can I interrupt 1 second? Because
Yes.
you don't remember what we checked on those boxes. I remember vividly.
Oh,
all right?
yeah.
There was husband and there was wife, and then there was both.
Oh, I checked both for everything.
95% of the column was like both.
Yeah.
Like, we'll just both do it together. We'll just both do the dishes. We'll just both do the laundry. We'll just both do the cleaning.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for us?
Did you check both as well?
I think I did.
Yeah.
I'm guilty too.
Yeah.
I am.
See, I mean, it's not a bad thing to say both, but
No.
we've alluded to this in the previous podcast that, that's great to have the spirit of partnership, but you need to then work through how you're going to actually operationalize that. Otherwise, one is expecting the other, or they're just very confusing roles.
In terms of how we've evolved or how thinking has evolved, how do you feel like we've evolved in terms of our disagreements and how they've handled? Because we still have plenty of those on a regular basis. Where do you feel like we've grown, and where can we still grow?
I think that we maybe are better at recognizing when we start getting into our cycle, and maybe just being able to give ourselves a little space. Like, I think we had a thing where I wouldn't want that space. Like, I'd want to pursue you and like try to like solve it right away. And that's still hard. I recognize that sometimes the space helps. I also have to take the initiative to come forward, maybe in a non-direct way, to share how I feel in a conflict, and then give you time to process that without me being in your face. Maybe I figured out some ways that help a little bit. And also in general, I think maybe less afraid of conflict than, at least for me, than when we started. That this is going to happen, and not run away from it, but like address it in some way.
Yeah, that's true. I have appreciated you coming forward for a repair a day later or 2 days later.
Thank you for that. I do remember, like,
that means a lot to me.
I used to not really repair, or it would be like a long time, and you would have to bring conversation
Well,
back.
then it just kind of filed into the resentment stories that would then just unfold like a laundry list in the next argument. So coming forward for the repair helps it not to be filed in that category. Like, the case becomes closed. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to say it like in a hard way or like a bureaucratic way, but it just brings some resolution. And for me, I need that initiative. So I think that I really appreciated that. And I resonate with what you're saying. I feel like we have some clarity in our quote unquote dance. So in all transparency, the first half of our marriage, or a little portion of that couple years, in the first half of our marriage, we did couples counseling, which was highly illuminating. I think at that time, we really didn't know each other. We didn't know each other's family of origin and how they impacted our current behavior and kind of like past traumas and pain points, and how that informed how we showed up in conflict. We did a lot of work in those years, I think, unpeeling all of that and understanding how we interact with one another. Maybe we're a little rusty now, to be honest, because it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I think that we have some understanding of our dance. We know our moves. In an argument, we know how the fight's going to go down. We probably know all the things that are going to come up in the fight. We probably know what everyone's going to say in the fight. We know it. It's like scripted. Like, we reenact the same thing. So the knowledge is there. Where I think we can do better is we still get stuck in it. I would love for us to get out of the dance a little earlier and or start a more of a new pattern, which I feel, again, we're rusty. Maybe we need to pursue a little more help in the next couple of years to kind of sharpen our skills or tune up. But that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. So thanks for saying that. So we talked about various challenges and obviously a lot of hard work that was involved in our marriage. But let me ask you, what's been some of the gifts, or say the best parts of the last 10 years? What's been keeping you going?
I think for me, having a teammate, especially in this chapter of raising children, has felt really invaluable because it's really nice. And I would even venture to say, I don't think I would be able to do it by myself. There's a certain synchronicity with your life partner, like a comfort about your routine. And although we're still getting to that point, I feel like that to me has been a great gift.
Yeah.
And I would also say having an unlimited debrief partner. I really like to talk about what came up for me at a program or at someone's house or over dinner or whatever. And so just to like be able to share that. And that's just been like a gift. Like you just have someone that you can talk to.
Yeah.
And they're like kind of obliged to listen. I'm just kidding. No, you mostly honor me when you're...
They like to listen. Because it's funny, I put the same thing. It was one of my points was just a permanent soundboard or accessible soundboard.
Yeah.
You know, someone to be able to bounce ideas off of, bounce feelings off of. That is like be one of the greatest gifts, I feel. Yeah.
It's really nice because we speak that same language, you know? I know if I share something with you, you're going to get it.
Mm.
And I feel like in my life, I haven't always found people with that security of like, I'm going to share something with you, but I don't know if you're really going to understand me and understand where I'm coming from and understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so I would say like, that's such a big gift for me. Just that security of having someone. And I would say even a greater security of you walk through life with someone, just, you know that you have someone that will show up if you end up in the hospital or you need something, like just having that. And that I think that's a huge gift.
Yeah, that's true.
Under-recognized.
Yeah, totally. That is so true. Yeah, so the only other thing I had was one of my favorite things of being married for 10 years is like being a part of so many life-defining moments together and having those memories, like being there for your initiation, right? First and second, and all the travel that we did together, going to India, buying our first house together, becoming parents together. There's so many major life-defining moments, even losing grandparents, things like that, that they make you feel connected, you know, more and more over time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's something really wonderful about walking through life together. You know, marriage is work and it's also really nice.
Yeah.
Or it can be really nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Really.
So this is more like a fun question. Going way back, do you remember the first time you thought I could spend the rest of my life with this person? Whatever version.
I actually do.
I do too.
But it's really stupid and funny, but it's really stupid. More.
Spit it out.
Okay. I think it was the first year I was at Rutgers or the second year. Yeah. And there was a Sacred Sounds event. And I was unwell the day of the event. I was like running a fever. So I had messaged you because I think we were like last minute logistics. Yeah. We were chatting about something. Yeah. So I mentioned that like, oh, I had a fever. And I think I said like, I don't know, maybe I'll take a Tylenol. I'm not sure. Right. Yeah. And then you messaged me back saying like, do you have any liver problems? And now looking back, I'm like mad at myself for that moment meaning something because you were just like a nerdy pharmacist learning about drugs. That was like the very tiny first glimmer of like, oh my gosh, is there a connection here? Just feeling like someone cared that I was sick. You know, a guy, which our friends group at the temple, Our interactions were not like that. Okay. The girls and boys, it was like very much cooties and brothers severely teasing sisters. Like, yeah, there was love there, but it was also kind of like hate.
Yeah.
It was like that. So I wasn't used to feeling like that concern and affection from a peer. It made me like feel something in that moment.
Well, I think that I did care about you, which is why I asked.
That early on?
Well, probably.
You weren't just like a nerdy pharmacist being like, is your liver working before you take a Tylenol? Like,
I don't know.
It's a Tylenol.
It was probably a mix of both, but now that I think about it, a pretty silly question to ask a 20-year-old, but
who's never drunk ever, right?
Right. But I also remember with that I think it was in that same text chain that at the end I said something like, "Get better, I need you."
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did.
That.
Okay, well, what about you? You said you also remember it crystal clear, which I'm surprised because your memory these days.
I don't really remember a lot of stuff, but I actually remember this. We used to talk on Skype.
Yeah.
And Skype was the thing.
Yeah.
Back then. And there was like one time we were talking and it just clicked to me that I just feel at ease with this person. I feel like she like actually wants to listen to what I have to say. I can talk to her and like I feel good after. And, I hadn't felt that before. So I like registered that. Like I remember registering that. That felt like a special moment to me. And then I think after that, like every interaction more just solidified that and I could be myself. Because myself was a very weird and awkward person.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really the person that was naturally accepted or felt accepted by most people. So I felt that with you, and that was like the moment. Whenever it exactly happened, I don't remember. Yeah.
Oh, that was sweet. Walking down memory lane.
Yeah.
So we walked down memory lane. But if we were to walk forward in the next decade, what wishes do you have for us? If you could offer one prayer to Krishna for our next decade together, what would it be?
My wish first, it would be that we could become more connected and on a regular basis. I think this podcast has helped us. We're kind of at that point where I think the first 5 years were adjusting and the last 5 years have been
Kid survival zone?
Yeah. And so when our second one is getting to the point of being less dependent on us, can we set something up where, even if it's monthly, something where we just have some regularity? Because I miss being able to do that whenever we wanted to, but that's not how life is now. We have to sort of fight for that and plan it in. So that's my biggest wish. And if I was to offer a prayer, my prayer to Krishna would be that we can continue to partner together in this ashram with love and kindness to each other and have more fun as we go forward. Just feeling like
we're very serious people.
We're serious, and it's also been like a serious time, or in terms of like just needing that and a little bit of monotony and complexity and the logisticalness of parent life. We're in that, and it's almost like required. My prayer is that Krishna can help us break through and maybe see some openings of when our life doesn't just have to be around the logistical aspects of being parents and, managing a household together. What about you? What's your...
I wrote something similar. I also wrote stay connected. I think we both changed in parenthood, and I think we need to rediscover one another to a certain degree. And I hope we can, and I wish for us to be able to really put that work in and invest in our relationship. And I want to clear out any like lingering baggage. I know it will always be with us to a certain extent, but I still feel like maybe our work was a little unfinished. And we could get better at our dance thing and not getting stuck in it
Mm-hmm.
So that's our wish, that we do get better, even though we started that journey. I hope in the next decade, by our 20-year anniversary, we can feel even more at ease
Mm-hmm.
with our dynamic and interactions.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel motivated to do that because in the next decade, our kids are going to grow even more. They're going to be like, they're already watching us, but they're going to watch us even more.
Yeah.
So I want them to see us at our best as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean not fighting. It just means like being really strongly grounded and attuned to one another, that we know how to get out of it more easily. That's my wish. And also, I did write also fun, but I hope that we can find and continue to find that connection in something really inspiring to serve together on, like similar to Bhakti Club. That's where our love is. That's where our love is felt the most. And I know love is not just about that feeling, but I do think the connection is important. And that's such an important part of our connection. So I just pray to Krishna that he can help us in our marriage really become the best that we can be and stay connected so that we feel happy in our ashram, in service and not resentful, and that our kids can see that they can be happy in Grihastha ashram, and that he can help us in that journey.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I resonate with all that. And the other day when I talked about even just like doing something on our anniversary, our 4-year-old was like, why?
Yeah.
And but then I said like, Mama,
that's great feedback, right? On how we're doing.
Yeah. I remember saying like, Mama and Papa need Mama and Papa time too. And it wasn't like that much pushback to it. They do understand, and we need to keep that as an important.
Yeah. Do you have any closing reflections or like one final takeaway on our decade of marriage?
Yeah, it's a dance, and sometimes we've heard of the dance as the conflict dynamic, but that's just, I think, one of the dances. There's also this overall dance of the marriage, which is like, it's like a positive thing. We have gone through a lot of different dancing over the last 10 years, and we still have a lot more to go, a lot more learning to do, and to not be afraid of that adventure.
My one takeaway, I appreciate in you the spirit of wanting to get better together in everything. And that's it.
Well said.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
And with that, we close the episode and we close season 2. We'll be back probably in the fall and with a whole brand new season. So definitely reach out to us with your thoughts, your reflections, your ideas. We would love to hear it. Thank you for listening as always, and good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.